Imagine this. One evening, a woman leaves her office promising to be home in just a few minutes. Hours pass, but she never returns. Her car is later found abandoned near a dark, desolate forest. The keys are still in the ignition, but there's no sign of her. What happened that night? Did she run into someone she knew? Or was it a case of being in the wrong place at the wrong time? As investigators dig deeper, they uncover secrets that no one expected. Secrets that will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew. This is the story of the Brentwood Disappearance. And trust me, the truth is more disturbing than you can imagine. Brentwood, California, a peaceful suburban town known for its manicured lawns and friendly neighbors. But beneath its calm exterior, something dark was about to unfold. December 12, 2022. It was a cold, rainy night when Julia Harris, a 34-year-old marketing executive, left her office at 8 p.m. She called her husband John just before leaving. The call was brief, nothing unusual. She promised to be home soon, but Julia Harris never made it home that night. At first, John wasn't worried. Maybe traffic had delayed her, or perhaps she'd decided to run an errand. But as the clock struck 10 p.m., anxiety turned to panic. He called her phone again and again, but there was no answer. No. At 11 p.m., he finally contacted the Brentwood Police Department. Within the hour, Agent Red of the Special Investigation Directorate was assigned to the case. Red was a former Army Ranger and a seasoned investigator who was known for his unmatched intuition and methodical approach. Expert in cold cases and with a knack for uncovering secrets hidden in plain sight, he was the best profiler in the SID. Agent Red wasted no time because Julia's sudden disappearance had all the makings of a serious crime. Her first step, retracing Julia's last known movements. Security footage from her office parking lot showed Julia getting into her car at 8:05 p.m. After that, she simply vanished into the night. By the next morning, the investigation had intensified. Teams were combing the streets, questioning witnesses and scouring nearby areas for any sign of Julia. The breakthrough came around noon. Julia's car was found abandoned near a wooded area on the outskirts of town. The doors were unlocked and the keys were still in the ignition. Inside the car, investigators found something chilling: a single muddy footprint on the passenger seat and a torn piece of cloth stained with what appeared to be blood. Agent Red knew this wasn't just a random disappearance. Someone had been in the car with Julia. But who? And more importantly, where was she now? Red immediately ordered a search of the nearby woods. Hours passed with no results. Just as frustration began to set in, one of the search teams found something partially buried in the mud: a woman's shoe. It matched the description of the shoes Julia had been wearing. As the investigation deepened, Agent Red began to piece together Julia's life. On the surface, she seemed to have it all: a successful career, a loving husband, and a picture-perfect life. But appearances can be deceiving. Witnesses revealed that Julia had been meeting someone in secret, a man named Eric Daniels, a former colleague. According to co-workers, Eric and Julia were seen together on several occasions in the weeks leading up to her disappearance. Eric was quickly brought in for questioning. He denied any involvement, insisting that they were just friends. His alibi? He was home alone at the time Julia disappeared. No witnesses, no solid proof. Agent Red wasn't convinced. Eric seemed nervous, his eyes darting around the room during questioning. But without hard evidence, she couldn't hold him. Then came the forensics report. The blood on the torn cloth found in Julia's car was confirmed to be hers. And there was something else: a partial fingerprint on the cloth. It wasn't a match for Eric. The mystery was far from over. Just as the case seemed to hit a dead end, a new lead emerged. A local hiker came forward with a critical piece of information. On the night of Julia's disappearance, he'd seen a man dragging something heavy into the woods. The description didn't match Eric. It was someone taller, broader, someone who looked a lot like John Harris. Agent Red wasted no time in confronting John. At first, he played the role of the grieving husband, but cracks began to show in his story. His timeline didn't add up. and inconsistencies started piling up. When asked about the partial fingerprint, John's demeanor changed. He became defensive, stumbling over his words. It wasn't long before the truth came spilling out. John confessed. He had discovered Julia's affair with Eric weeks earlier. The betrayal consumed him. That night, he confronted Julia in the car. The argument spiraled out of control. In a moment of blind rage, he struck her head with a tire iron. She collapsed, lifeless. Panicked and desperate, John drove to the woods and buried her body. It was never part of the plan, he claimed. It was just an accident. But Agent Red knew better. An accident doesn't explain the calculated cover-up, the lies, or the attempt to pin the crime on someone else. John Harris was arrested and charged with second-degree murder. During the trial, the courtroom was filled with shock and disbelief. The man who once seemed like the perfect husband turned out to be hiding a dark and deadly secret. What do you think? Could this tragedy have been avoided, or was it inevitable? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoy true crime stories with unexpected twists, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more mind-bending stories. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.